What is going on YouTube? We are back again discussing the brand new limited time unit Ludmilla Winter Owner. So I was as of this current moment, we have the game in maintenance right now, so we can't really go further into like testing showcases and to determine who her best partner is. However, something that I do want to discuss here is just where she falls in my own personal tier list, I would say, and where I think she fits in comparison to a lot of other units. So let's go ahead and open that up in a new tab just so we have that available. So obviously we know that she is a major DPS damage dealer. That is what she does. Obviously it's right here also she's a hacker. But I also like the fact that she has a minigun because that also plays into her whole kit, wanting to do a lot of hits, and by doing so increasing her attack, increasing her crit rate, increasing just her overall damage, and then also enabling the enemies having increased damage taken, which is very nice. And then being able to have the 20 rounds reload ammunition. Then you also, further increase that with her burst skill of the reload speed while also increasing her attack even further. And so all this, it plays into itself, all of her skills, all of her, abilities kind of snowball, no pun intended being a winter unit, but they all snowball in allowing her to do more and more and more and more damage and having that output stay consistent. The only, I would say, the negative downside is the fact that it's her burst skill, which allows the reload speed to be astronomically high, as we can see here. So, in saying that, I do think her best partner would probably be a unit that allows for increased reload. Um, can't think of any on the top of my head. I'm sure people would probably comment and correct me on that, and but by all means, go for it. So let's go ahead and jump over to the character list here, and I know she is drawing a lot of comparisons to the summertime Annis. And while Ennis is like, just let's just say how it is. Her character, her avatar, everything is just phenomenal because it is a winter summertime bikini knit. She's still very, very strong. Um just ignore the fact that she has a shotgun because she still does a tremendous amount of damage just by herself. And I believe she really, yeah, she mainly emphasizes, supporting electrical, as you can see here, electric code allies. So she's somewhat limited in that manner compared to Lamilla, who isn't. Now, granted, she mainly just, supports herself, but doing that allows her to be splashed onto a bunch of teams where if you have the Annis, you're really limited to the electrical code units to really have the absolute most damage, I would say, from all those other units. Um, Having them, increase attack speed or attack and then the reload speed. But anyways, so Lumilla. So going over her, now this is just strictly raw DPS damage, because I don't think you can really compare her to a bunch of other units like, let's say, Litter or Dorothy, who, while yeah, they could get some damage out there, they're mainly support units. And we're comparing her to units such as, maybe not Alice to that degree because Alice is just stupid strong and does ridiculous amounts of damage. But, to other very, very popular DPS units, we could somewhat compare her to. Maybe that would be like Modernia. Maybe that would be, like Red Hood or Scarlet, Scarlet, maybe even Snow White. Because here on Pride One, they actually have her as a triple S for the solo boss. Now, personally, I don't really like looking too far into Pride One stuff because it's just, while yes, it makes it easy to look at, which is very nice, by the way. Uh, it's just suggestive and just subjective to many players because they don't have every single unit in the game, or they don't have their units core 7, whatever. But for Lumilla, honestly, I'm actually willing to say she is probably like a top 5 DPS unit in the game. And what makes her more valuable, I would say, is that being like a solo sustain DPS absolute monstrosity that she is, helps her tremendously because, like I said earlier, you're able to splash her on so many different teams, and that is the best thing about her, to be completely honest. Yes, being able to be self-sufficient and do a lot by herself is very nice, but the fact that she does not rely on having other water type units on the team is phenomenal. So I would say she is a top 5 DPS unit in the game. I would suggest people to actually get their copies. I just recently got a dupe for Lumilla, so I have one dupe in her. That's honestly probably all I'm going to do. Because we still have New Year's around the corner. But yeah, I would say Lumilla is a top 5 DPS unit game without a question of a doubt.